Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Storm Babet, the second named storm of the 2023-24 storm season. And this storm is likely to bring some pretty exceptional and dangerous weather to parts of the UK, especially across northeast Scotland. And we'll start off right away by looking at the Met warnings in force. I'm going to kind of skim through these because you can read through them in detail yourself. I'll put the link in the description. We're going to look at kind of the most significant warnings here, and of course the main one is the red warning of rain. The red kind of warning level is the highest possible level the Met Office can issue, and it only occurs when they've got a high confidence in a high impact weather event. And so these warnings are usually issued kind of less than once a year, or maybe one or two times a year, when the weather is kind of posing a danger to life. The last time we had red warning of rain was in 2020 for Storm Dennis, and then before that was in 2015 when we had Storm Desmond and I think Storm Eva, which brought some very severe flooding across parts of northwest England and Scotland. But you can see this red rain warning, comes into force from 6 PM tomorrow and lasts until midday on Friday. So really kind of overnight through Thursday and into Friday morning, intense heavy rainfall across this area of northeast Scotland, as you can see here on the map. And this is likely to pose a danger to life from floodwaters, possibly building collapses if they're affected by flooding, road closures, disruption to transport. And if we kind of read the details here, you can see 100 to 150 millimeters of rain is expected to fall widely within 24 hours across the red warning. This amount of rainfall is very serious. Kind of rivers and streams will be overwhelmed. There could be surface water flooding. It is just not good. The UK does not usually see this much rain kind of in such a short space of time, relatively speaking. And I know some people have been saying like, oh, it's just autumn, but really this amount of rain is pretty unprecedented for Scotland. I think I saw somewhere the kind of 20 or the 48-hour record for Scotland is like 240 or 70 millimeters of rain. I can't remember the exact number, but this could be threatened, to be honest. As you can see here, possibly 200 to 250 millimeters of rain could fall across higher ground, and like I said, that's really going to cause severe flooding impacts. You can see other rain warnings have been issued. We've also got warnings across kind of southern parts as well. And those warnings remain until Saturday. We've also got warning across Northern Ireland today, but you can read those details. I'll put the link for this in the description. It is important to kind of be weather aware. Another pretty interesting warning is this one here, valid from 10 o'clock tomorrow until 6 PM, so just when that red warning starts. And that is across northeast Scotland, and that is the kind of risk of some pretty strong wind gusts, perhaps in excess of 70 miles an hour, and heavy rain combined with strong winds. Trees are more susceptible to fall over. That can impact power, travel disruption, large waves as well. So really nasty conditions likely across parts of northeast Scotland tomorrow and through Friday. So you may be wondering what is causing all this kind of heavy rain and kind of strong winds, all the severe weather. And I'm showing you now a chart called the precipitable water chart. And this is a kind of measure of the amount of moisture and kind of like physically the water held in the atmosphere. And you can see these kind of purple and blue and kind of greeny bluey colors are representative of kind of more moist and more moist air, kind of air holding more moisture and water. And you can see if I run through this loop, let me just play through it here. You can see we've got a lot of those kind of purple colors very close to the UK. We have a low pressure center there, kind of those black circles indicating a low pressure there. And you can see it's bringing this low pressure kind of moving up from that direction, kind of from the Atlantic and parts of southern Europe. And as it does so, it brings up a lot of moisture into the UK. You can really see that there, those purple colors. And then what you may notice happening is that we kind of have a larger kind of just area of low pressure out to the west of the UK. And what that does, let me just clear this here, is that kind of keeps a kind of easterly flow over the UK of moisture, and it just doesn't really stop. Notice how kind of long those blue colours remain over parts of England and Scotland all the way through from kind of Thursday and then into Friday, and even in Saturday you still have those kind of bluey greeny colours remaining in place. And so that just indicates we have kind of like a fire hose of moisture pointed at the eastern half of Scotland and England. And what happens is as that moisture runs into just kind of land in general, but especially higher ground, so kind of mountains and hills, the air is forced upwards, and as it is forced upwards, it cools, it condenses, and it causes rain to form. That's something called orographic lift, but that is really going to be responsible for kind of a lot of this rainfall. And as you can see, that the moisture just kind of hangs around for a very, very long time. And then you'll also notice that across, this is for kind of Friday, we kind of get another low starting to develop here with another kind of focus of moisture across kind of southern England there. And that's potentially going to be another focus for another disruptive kind of rain event during Friday as well. And if I just quickly show you the surface pressure chart here, because I kind of want to show you some of the actual computer models, you can clearly see where our storm is. Here's Storm Babet, that deep low pressure system around 971 millibars. But the most important thing is to notice all those weather fronts. We have occluded fronts, warm fronts here hanging around, and that just, they kind of stay there for a very, very long time. Also notice the isobars, that's those kind of black lines which are lines of equal pressure. They are quite close together, especially ahead of this warm front across eastern Scotland, and that's because this low is bumping into the high, this low is bumping into the high pressure, squeezing the isobars together, bringing very strong winds. I'll take a look at that in a moment, but just carry on kind of looking how those fronts remain there for a very long time, all the way into Saturday, and those fronts will be bringing the rain. So you may be wondering kind of exactly where the rain's going to fall, how much is going to fall exactly, what kind of timings, and I'll show you a computer model. This is the French arpège model. This is just one possible solution of many, but the models are in fairly good agreement, so we have kind of fairly high confidence. You can see here we've got a low moving up this evening, which we can actually see on radar right there. That is our low, and notice it kind of moves up, bringing fairly heavy rain, and then by kind of Thursday morning, the rain starts to fall across Scotland and northern England, and you can really see there the focus across northeast Scotland. That's where our higher ground is, so the air is kind of being forced upwards, and those red and purple colours, kind of red and orange colours, indicating where that rain is very heavy and pretty relentless. And if I run through, actually let me change the colour because that's the same as the clear, and if I run through this loop, notice how in the black area on this computer model, the kind of rain just really doesn't stop for a very, very long time. And that is why the concern is so high through this region, because kind of you can imagine that kind of fire hose of moisture which I kind of was showing on the last site, but you can see how that kind of really is visualized quite well. It's kind of aimed across parts of eastern England and Scotland, but it's really focused across the high ground where we've got that orographic lift occurring. And then also notice this is during Friday, we start to have another area of rain start to develop. This one is more widespread across kind of Scotland, much of eastern England, down into parts of southeast England there. And you can see that then start to develop its own low, as you can see here. There's the new kind of low pressure system, which then it brings pretty heavy and persistent rain, orange and red colours there, through this area of the Midlands into kind of eastern England. You can see in that black zone, and as that low pivots around, the precipitation kind of stays in the same area. And so really, if we look at the forecast total accumulations by Saturday, it is pretty wet. You can see as much as 200 millimeters of rain falling by midday on Saturday across parts of northeast England. Anywhere in white is seeing in excess of 100 millimeters, so almost 100 millimeters there, potentially similar amounts across parts of Northern Ireland. And then also notice through much of the high ground of northern England, we're seeing fairly high amounts of rain as well. And then notice also across parts of the Midlands and into southeast England, we're seeing very high totals there, perhaps as much as 80 millimeters across parts of eastern England there. And also it's worth noting that quite a lot of this falls within 24-hour periods. For example, you can see 190 millimeters there falling across northeast Scotland within 24 hours. That is really exceptional. And then again later on, we're looking at kind of 50 to 60 millimeters of rain falling across northern England and into parts of eastern England there. So that's pretty heavy rain as well. If we take a look at a more high resolution model, this is the UKV, the Met Office model, and you can see there's the rain that we've currently got clearing away. Actually, the risk of some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow across parts of Wales and England. But then notice how the rain starts. Well, let me go to the black pen. The heavy rain starts in those purple, kind of red and white colours across northeast Scotland during the afternoon, and it really doesn't stop. Just keep an eye on kind of this area here. You can see it really just doesn't stop all the way through Saturday. And then we also turn our attention to the southeast, like I just said, potentially a more uncertain rainfall risk. But you can see here, this model is showing some also very heavy rain across the southeast. You can see those red and kind of white colours indicated there. This would likely be during Friday morning, and there's more uncertainty on this. For example, if I show you the different runs of the model, you can see, for example, the GFS model, which is more low resolution, but actually picked out this threat kind of the earliest, has the bulk of the rain across kind of the Midlands, southern and southwest England. Whereas, for example, the other models that I was showing you, like the French model here, has the bulk of the rain across eastern England, and then the German model has it in a more kind of similar area across eastern England, whereas the Met Office model is somewhere in between. So there's more uncertainty on this threat, but could potentially be pretty disruptive. And as you can see there, that rain could be heavy and last for quite a long time. Also does bring the risk of some strong winds. Oh, actually, yeah, I need to talk about the strong wind threat, sorry. So let's take a look at the forecast wind gusts through Thursday afternoon. This is valid tomorrow at midday, and you can see those red and purple colours indicating really strong winds ahead of that warm front across northeast Scotland there. And you can see why the Met Office have issued that amber warning, especially along kind of this coastal region. We're seeing 70, 75 mile an hour gusts, which is going to be pretty disruptive. And then finally, just going to show you the flood forecast from the Scottish Flood Service. You can see here we've got the red zone across Aberdeenshire and Angus, and that's for tomorrow and Friday. And just to give you an idea of how severe we're looking at, you can see here the expected impacts are widespread flooding affecting entire communities, danger to life and severe travel disruption, large-scale evacuations, and collapse of buildings and loss of infrastructure. So it's really about as serious as it gets in these kind of areas of northeast Scotland, particularly the red and amber rain warnings. So if you're in any of these areas, please stay up to date with the flood warnings. This is the Scottish flood warning site. There's an English one as well, but that kind of will maybe become a bit more relevant later on. But really for tomorrow, I'll put this link in the description. If you're in northeast Scotland or in any of these warnings, keep an eye on this page because it could get pretty bad, really. The rain is just going to be very relentless during Thursday and into Friday. That's about it, everyone. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe. Bye.